Now, before I begin, I know you guys are going to be like, oh, Jin, you're doing this again. Okay, hear me out. Guild slots went up to 60, so I'm reopening my guild for registration. If anyone wants to join Noctis, it's going to be an application form in the description below if you want to join. So all of you soulbinders who are feeling like maining the class and want to join a guild, you're more than welcome to sign up. But anyone is welcome, casual, hardcore alike. Plus my friends have me at gunpoint complaining that the guild is dead, so I'm kind of being forced to do this. No, just kidding. But seriously. I'll be inviting 20 to 30 active players, mostly just for more fun in the private Discord along with guild raids coming out. But plug over, let's go back into the video. Hey guys, welcome to another MapleStory 2 video, and today I'll be talking about my first impressions on the new Skybound expansion, which is Nexon's first expansion update since the game actually came out. It's supposed to feature a bunch of new content for us to explore along with quality of life changes, balance updates, and the new hyped up class Soulbinder, which I'm sure everyone wants to main because it's supposedly really broken for PvP and PvE alike, but I haven't played the class yet so I wouldn't know, though odds are by the time this video is up I'll already be working on the Soulbinder review. Speaking of which, thank you Nexon for giving us the level 50 potion so we can get right into the action. And lastly, holiday events. Always a pleasure to have just to get into the Christmas spirit. I'm actually satisfied with this update so far. I didn't finish it yet for obvious reasons, it's only been like a day since it came out, but overall I like it. In my previous video, I did mention that MS2 at the moment is extremely shallow of a game. There's a lot of features in the game but very little depth to any of them, but the Sky Fortress looks to help ease that a little bit. While it's understandable that lack of overall lore in MapleStory 2 can be attributed to the youth of the game, this new story arc can maybe shed some more light on the subject. Also, I gotta say, presentation is excellent. I like the graphics inside the ship along with the usage of camera movement to show you around the airship. That was very well executed. Now, while this might not relate too well for other classes, I'm very happy that they added some continuity to the assassin story with the Rooks, which gives me more hope that Nexon has not abandoned individual stories and that every class will eventually get some more progression through their stories or insight into them, but I don't know if it'll go that far just yet. So for the most part, I think the first phase gives us daily missions that we can do to collect currency, which can then be used to purchase valuable items, including legendary reroll items, which should be really neat, along with some other enhancement materials. Anyway, that's all for now for phase 1, I think. Some more extra content for you to look forward to. I'll probably release a full guide on the Sky Fortress soon, but it's cool to see a new arc in the MS2 lore, if it's even canon. Does anyone know if this is canon? I mean, they do talk about Kivon's betrayal, so I'm assuming it's canon? I don't know. Okay, now, as for the rest of the patch, Maple PvP. Oh boy, okay, I'm gonna need to look more into this. Honestly, I don't know if I'll be doing MS2 PvP too much because Maple PvP seems to be an element of the game outside of the regular PvE, kind of like how Mush King Royale was, because I'm looking through the patch notes and I don't see any particular practical reason to do PvP in terms of benefit other than like showing how good you are at the class. That, and I don't want to get into 2 PvP games because League of Legends has me chained to hell and I really don't want to run into another toxic PvP community. No, thank you. But I will be doing guild PvP in the Red Arena during Christmas, more about that later. As for dungeon rebalancing, I think it's too big of an aspect to cover in a first impressions video, so I will be making a separate video on that later. But I will say I'm really glad that they added a normal version for chaos raids, because while I do think the chaos raids themselves weren't that unfair, contrary to the community's incessant complaining, it's nice to not have to jump such a huge height to progress, because yes, it is kind of sucky that you have to be plus 14 or higher to comfortably clear CDev, or all 10 players need really good mechanics. In terms of what they've been doing for balancing things like daily missions and overall conduct regarding Onyx crystals so mesobotters don't have as much leverage with making sales, I think we're gonna have to give it more time to make a proper assessment on the subject. But I do hope that they will find ways of combating mesobotters without necessarily damaging the experience of the game, which may never happen since companies are bound by public relations with the community while hackers aren't, so only time will tell. For the guild system updates, it's a good thing they increased max guild capacity at level 1 to 60 from 30, since only 30 members is arguably too low for an MMORPG meant to have 4 to 5 digit amounts of players. So this is good for us to have. As for the guild raids, I haven't done any of them yet, but I did hear that you can pick up some more accessory and armor bonus attribute lock scrolls, so needless to say, Nexon is doing a really nice job with trying to improve our ability to continue making our characters stronger outside of doing 35,000 hard dungeons over and over again. Although I still hope they can overhaul life skills, because right now it's just go to Berg and Alchemy Island, then go to your house and press spacebar a billion times. Plus, smithing kind of sucks because you get only exceptional gear, which immediately gets overshadowed by, like, you can purchase Varican horns for like 5 mil now, it's insane. Maybe they might do something like they might do an overhaul later on. Last thing I want to talk about are the holiday events. I'm actually going to give them a try because normally I never really do any time-limited events unless they provide you something like really valuable. The Christmas events are mostly aesthetic, but you do get a pretty awesome Bobo mount, so that's gonna be neat. Maybe I'll do a full event playthrough or something. I wanted to take a page out of my friend's book because she plays MapleStory just to literally goof off and have fun. I think a change of pace would be kind of good for me. Force myself to do trivial things just for the sake of doing them, you know? Overall, while I left an impression of frustration with MS2 in my previous video, I'm very happy that the developers are working as hard as they can to make the game as accommodating as possible. That is the most important part. It's kind of like what you would ask like the teacher, that famous teacher question, would you rather have a straight A student that puts absolutely zero effort into the class and doesn't care? Or would you rather have a C or D student who's trying really hard to do as much as they can, to improve as much as they can? And most teachers say that they'll take the student with the work ethic rather than the student with the natural talent. The student with natural talent would not want to change at all, even if the situations get harder. But if you take the student with good work ethic, that student is willing to go through the motions to continue and improving no matter how hard it might be. And that's the kind of company you want for a video game. Even if a video game sucks, and I'm not saying MapleStory 2 sucks, I'm just saying like in a hypothetical sense, even if a video game is bad, if the game developers are willing to go the extra mile to make the game better for the sake of the players, that's the most important part. And I've always been happy with the fact that Chongsu has been working super hard along with the MapleStory 2 development team to make the game better for us. I think some of us could stand to not harp on them too much. Like, let's give them a break. Come on, they're humans. But let me know how you guys feel about the Skybound expansion, because I'm going to be digging into it nice and slow to let it all sink in. I know a ton of players are going to be super excited for PvP, but I personally will shy away from it unless there's actual benefit to it in the PvE world. I don't think I'll be doing it too much for the actual bragging rights. But anyway, I gotta go do some Chaos Raids right now, so I'll get going. Thanks again so much for watching, guys, and looking forward to spending a lovely December with you all. But yeah, take care.